Did you know that the fats that you're eating might be shortening your life, contributing to inflammation, weight gain, brain fog, hormone imbalance, and cravings? We really are what we eat, and fat is an important part of your diet. But if you want to optimize your health and nutrition, it's important what kinds of fats you're adding to your diet. Today on the podcast, we are so excited to be joined by Sherry Calbom, a Master of Science in Nutrition, author of 36 books, and a powerful voice in this real food movement that we are a part of. In this episode, we're going to be talking about the truth behind industrial seed oils, why they may not be as heart healthy as we've been told, and how replacing them with real nourishing fats can support your health, your hormones, your weight loss journey, and your long-term vitality. If you are a woman over 40 who feels stuck on the dieting roller coaster and wants to lose weight for the last time, this conversation is going to help you to become a better detective of what is really in your food. This is episode number 245 of the Healthy Real Food Podcast, The Truth About Seed Oils with Sherry Calbom. This is the Healthy Real Food Podcast. I'm your coach, Erin Hart, a registered nurse and health coach who understands the struggle of feeling out of control around food and has walked the path of transformation. If you are a woman who feels powerless against your cravings and is ready to live your life with more energy, mental clarity, and purpose, there is hope. Here we believe that with God, a mindset of unstoppability, and consistent execution of a winning strategy, anything is possible for you. So if you're ready to find freedom from food addiction, take control of your health, and pursue your dreams with renewed energy, support, and accountability, let's go. Welcome, everybody, to the Healthy Real Food Podcast. We are so excited. I'm so excited to have Sherry Calbom on our podcast today. You guys, we are so lucky that she has come on our podcast. She is such an expert in this field. So welcome, Sherry.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me on your show. I'm really excited to share with everybody today about real fats, real food, and the dangers of industrial seed oils, which I call them the silent killers. They're killing us all across America, and we need to know the truth about that. And how do we replace these bad oils? What do we do in our bodies? How do we replace it? And on our pantry shelf. So, we're going to talk about all of that today.
Yeah, I love it. And I think it's such a great topic for us. In our community, we are focused on transforming our health with a real food lifestyle. And when we do that, not only do we achieve a physical transformation, but it's mental, emotional, spiritual as well. So important what we're talking about today. And it's interesting, like I've heard a lot about seed oils. And so I'm excited to pick your brain and learn from you. So if you're okay, I'll just go ahead and I'd love to share your bio
Yes.
that you sent to me. Such an incredible bio that you have. So Sherry is a Master of Science in Nutrition, and she has a passion for transforming health through fresh, vibrant foods. She has authored 36 books that have collectively sold over 3.5 million copies. Her global bestseller has empowered 2 million readers to reclaim vitality. Her latest work, The Truth About Seed Oils, exposes how heart healthy, in quotes, that myth has made us sick and how to heal with real fats. From serving as George Foreman's nutritionist to advising the royal family of the United Arab Emirates, Sherry's influence spans continents and cultures. Her passion for wellness is deeply personal. After losing her mother to breast cancer at age 6, she devoted her life to empowering others to prevent disease and reclaim their health through nourishing whole foods. Sherry is a dynamic voice in wellness and has been featured on Fox News, NBC, CBS, ABC, CNN, CBN, TBN, and we are so happy to have you on our podcast today. So
Thank
thank
you.
you.
Thank you. It's
That's
great to be here.
Yeah, that is quite the resume that you have. Love to hear what you have to say and what you would want someone to know. Our women who watch or listen to this podcast are women over 40 who just feel trapped on that dieting roller coaster, have tried it all, and really want to find peace with food and their bodies.
That is a frustrating roller coaster for a lot of people. I say I've lost the same 5 pounds probably 100 times. 5 pounds on, 5 pounds off. But we all, whether we're trying to lose just a few or a lot, hit plateaus, hit frustration. Things just aren't going the way we hoped they would. But I want to point out one thing today that many people don't realize. These industrial seed oils, and I'm going to define which ones they are in a moment, can cause you to gain weight. You don't even know they're there. They're in everything. All the packaged foods, the salad dressing, the mayonnaise, you eat out, it's in everything they make your food with, all these oils like canola oil. And you eat at maybe a fast food place. Wow, that stuff's just saturated with these bad oils. And then you buy packaged things and bring it home, and you have no idea. It just says vegetable oil on the label, and you think it's something healthy, and it's not. And it's causing a host of problems. One of the biggest things it causes in your body is inflammation. Inflammation is at the root of everything, but it is connected directly in weight gain, obesity, and all sorts of issues throughout the body, like pain and brain fog, and on it goes. But studies have shown that it's also connected to heart disease, cancer, diabetes, metabolic issues, and anxiety, depression, aggression, all sorts of emotional issues are connected as well. This is all based on science. This is in chapter 2 of my new book. I just finished a lot of research, and there are a lot of studies in chapter 2 on everything I just named. But it's very interesting because weight gain, right there at the top of lots of studies, just pointing right back to seed oils and weight gain and hindrances in losing weight. Excuse me. So we have to be good detectives. We need to shop either with our phone and taking a picture and blowing things up on labels that are so teeny tiny print now that you can't read them hardly, or take your magnifying glass. I do that a lot with a little light on it, and I'm always reading labels to detect what's in there. So now I want to define what the seed oils actually are, because people are always asking, what exactly are those? Canola, which is rapeseed oil, grapeseed oil, and I mention those two first because they have been advertised as healthy for decades, decades.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I know. I remember hearing that that's like a healthier oil, but it's so interesting how I love that you are focused on evidence-based science. Like, we love diving into that sort of thing here.
Oh, I love it too. And nobody wants to just hear our own good ideas, right? Unless you have a lot of experience with patients and you've done a lot of statistical collection over the years. But just a good idea. They want to hear. They want to hear what backs up what you say. Well, in addition to those two, there is corn oil, soy, safflower and sunflower, and a lot of people still think safflower and sunflower are good oils to choose. Also, peanut oil is on the list, rice bran oil, and cottonseed oil. So those are the oils that you want to avoid. I'm going to tell you in a moment why, but I'm also going to give you right now what can you have because everybody wants to know that. Okay, what can I have? What can I cook with? What should I look for? Olive oil is ancient, and we all know that olive oil is wonderful and part of the Mediterranean diet. So it is right there at the top of the list, along with avocado oil, coconut oil. Those are your fruit oils. And then there are nut oils, almond and macadamia nut oil, but you don't see those as much. And then there is sesame seed oil. So one good seed oil on the list. And then if you're eating animal products, and most people are not vegan. So, clean, you want clean animal products like grass-fed, not laden with antibiotics and other additives put in that meat. And so butter, ghee, which is oil of butter, and tallow are good choices in the animal fats category. There are more restaurants now that are going to avocado oil and tallow to fry their foods in and to cook their foods in. So it's really great to look for restaurants that do that. You can get an app, the Seed Oil Scout app, and it's got map of your area, and it'll show you the restaurants in your area that are seed oil free. So we've all got to be great detectives and start looking for what we're buying, where we're eating. Not that we can't ever eat at our favorite restaurant, of course you can. And enjoying your evenings and your life is part of health too. It feeds your soul to be with friends and to have good food. But we can even make wise choices when we eat out. And I just caution people, don't order the fried chicken or the fish and chips, right? Because there's many other things on the menu that we can choose that aren't just saturated in this oil that is so bad for our bodies, so bad for our health.
Oh, yeah. And I think that I remember when I was a little kid and my mom was always on a diet and we always had like the fat-free foods. And, what we know now is just that fat is such an important part of a healthy, balanced diet. And we want to have the balance of all the macronutrients, proteins, carbohydrates, and fats. And so, fat is a good thing and it's not going to make you fat. Fat is a healthy part of your diet that keeps you satiated. And so I think it's just such a big shift that we've had in what we've learned from the errors of what we were taught when we were younger.
Oh, we've learned so much, and it's devastating what we've been through. So we came through the low fat, no fat couple of decades or more. It was more than just excuse me, 2 decades. And what happened? Did we get thinner? No. Statistically, we got much heavier as a nation. And overweight and obesity categories grew to now it's almost 70% of our nation that is either overweight or considered obese. What happened during that time? Well, people didn't have the satiety. You just mentioned it from fat. They were avoiding fat. I remember even people doing muffins with applesauce so that there'd be no oil in there. And you have to have something to bring moisture in. So everywhere you looked, people were putting extra fruit, applesauce, sugar, honey. I mean, we were sweetened everywhere you turned. And instead of being thinner, we got heavier and people were hungrier and they never seemed to feel satisfied because fat helps you feel satisfied, as you just said. And so, what a really unfortunate decade and beyond. I think it started around the late 70s or early 80s and just kept going until today. People are waking up and realizing, wow, you know, low carb might be a good thing, or at least no refined carbs, and get your good carbs from your vegetables, right? And your whole grains and ancient grains. And there's some carbs in your legumes like beans, lentils, and split peas. And when we add some good, healthy fats that our body can actually use well, then we're going to feel satisfied and not so hungry all the time.
Yeah, and aren't there also benefits hormonally to making sure that we have proper amounts of fat in our diet? I wasn't What are the other benefits besides just feeling satiated? Why does our body need fat?
Oh, you're so right. So I'm glad you talked about hormones. First off, I want to mention that the bad fats, the bad oils that we just talked about are hormone disruptors, and the good fats help with hormone balancing. And that is so important also. And then also insulin resistance. These industrial seed oils cause or contribute to insulin resistance. And what happens when that occurs? Insulin's not getting into your cells, so it's circulating more in your bloodstream. that's going to affect your appetite. You're going to be hungrier. And your hormones that control appetite can get all out of whack, completely out of balance. The one that causes increased appetite can increase, and the one that decreases your appetite can decrease. And so, again, you're in that hungry mode all the time. I've had so many women say to me, "Gosh, I just ate dinner, an hour and a half or 2 hours ago, and I'm hungry." And I'm wandering through the kitchen saying, I just need a little something. What do I need? So people are starving and our cells are starving. And we can talk about that in a moment.
Yeah, and, it's not just healthy oils that we can have for fat either. You did talk about olive oil and avocado oil. Those are such great oils and some other ones that you mentioned. But yeah, like whole avocados or coconut or the grass-fed butters and so lots of different options to get these healthy fats into your diet.
Oh, absolutely. And I absolutely love coconut oil because it's so rich in MCTs, medium chain triglycerides. The liver likes to burn them. So I call it a slimming oil because it does help people, helps with thermogenesis, it helps with fat burning. That's what that means, of course. And so that is another great, great oil. But I also want to talk about oxidative stress in the body and these oils contribute to that. Oxidative stress contributes to inflammation, and we want to bring inflammation down. And so many people are inflamed, and that's part of the whole weight gain, not able to lose weight situation when you have a lot of inflammation. And so there's a lot of conditions like PCOS that affect a lot of women, or premenopause when women again experience a lot of inflammation. And those two, I just did some research yesterday on that. Those two conditions have a chronic low grade inflammation characteristic to them. And so we want to bring inflammation down for everything. Anything that ails you, aches and pains, and anything that we just named, or anything not named that you're dealing with, there's always inflammation there. What contributes to inflammation? Seed oils. This has been shown in scientific studies. So I want to tell you why, really quickly, why it does that. There are two major reasons. First of all, these seeds are, um, the oil is extracted from the seeds, what I'm trying to say, by um, high heat, first of all, 500 degrees, maybe more, and then really caustic um, chemicals like hexane and degumming agents and all sorts of other chemicals are poured into vats as they're working to extract that last little bit of oil. And so, what is that doing to your body when you start ingesting these oils that look, they're in the bottle, clear bottle, um, golden, uh, pretty, no odor at all. They can sit on the shelf forever. You're told they don't need refrigeration. That's how they were marketed in the 50s as they rolled out with slick advertising. This is the modern new oil and it doesn't need refrigeration. Well, it's so destroyed and it's full of so many carcinogens, aldehydes, lipid peroxides, awful stuff for your body. No, it doesn't need refrigeration. It's already had it. But that's the number one reason. But number two, these oils are also known as polyunsaturated oils. You may have heard that term before. And what does that mean? So if you look at it chemically, like in chemistry, you would see carbons and hydrogens all connected to a link. So you would see them as you go across the link, a carbon and a hydrogen. But with polyunsaturated oils, there are places of double bonds. There's no carbon or hydrogen linked there. What does that mean? You don't even need to remember that. But what does it mean? Those double bonds can be broken easily with heat, with processing, with chemicals. So they're fragile. These oils are fragile. They should be treated very gently with cold pressed extraction. And it's the opposite of how they're treated. And so these double bonds break, and that also creates toxins, free radicals. And then there's another reason the polyunsaturates are also high in omega 6s. omega-6 fatty acids. We need those. And that's what the opposite point of view that you'll hear maybe in the media is trying to stress. Oh, but we need omega-6 fatty acids. And we do, but not in the ratio we're getting them. We should have about 1 to 1 omega-6 fatty acid to omega-3. 4 to 1 would be the maximum range. What we're getting as a society typically is 15 to 1 to maybe 21, 22 to 1. And that is really out of range. It is a huge imbalance. What happens when you have too many excuse me, omega-6 fatty acids is inflammation. So once again, we've got inflammation coming at us from all sides with these oils, and we can turn that around by just being really good detectives and choosing really good fats and oils.
Oh, yeah, and small changes really can create such a dramatic impact in your health. Back in 2020, I was 284 pounds, and just struggled with my health, and I with binge eating. I ate a lot of ultra processed food, but I was depressed. I had terrible energy, and my life changed so much when I chose to eat clean, real food. When that that change, and, that can sound like a really big change, but even just small changes, progress over perfection, over time with consistency, you're gonna feel so much better, and since then, I've lost over 100 pounds, I've kept it off for 5 years, and I think that this is an important piece, understanding what foods we're putting into our bodies, and so I love learning from you, and I love learning all the science behind this because it's motivating and helpful when we go to make those choices to have that information.
Oh, yes. My hat goes off to you for losing all of that weight. That is amazing. And there's so many women that will be very inspired to know about that. So, we can heal at the cellular level. And I wanted to talk about this too, because our cell membranes are made up of fat. And if we have the wrong type of fat in our diet, which is the seed oils, um, our body's going to use it if there's not good fat there. And it's going to do whatever it needs to do to keep the body going, right? The whole um, focus of our body is to keep you alive. And so it's going to insert the inferior fats from these seed oils into your cell membranes if there isn't good fat available, like from all the fats we've just talked about. And then if you're not even choosing to buy those to cook with, but you're eating a lot of snack foods or packaged foods, you're still going to be getting the seed oils because they're cheap. And manufacturers love to use them because they don't have to pay as much money. But, if we start as consumers demanding better oils and fats in our food, they're going to have to do it if they want to sell product. But anyway, back to your cell membrane. So when you get the good fat into your diet from like good animal fats, grass fed butter, or tallow or ghee, or your avocado oil or olive oil or coconut oil, the body can use that fat to make strong, sturdy cell membranes. And what is that going to affect? Your entire body. Down right down to the cellular level. But what about your brain? Your brain is mostly fat and water. So, what is going to happen in your brain if you do not have the proper fats and you have inferior fat cells in your brain? Those are your brain cells. Um, uh, we're going to end up with problems like Alzheimer's, dementia, and of course, emotional issues. You mentioned when you were eating all that junk food, depression. Lots of young women experiencing anxiety today. It is a phenomenon that they are covering in the news. That why are so many young women going on anti anxiety medications? I know it's not just seed oils. We have many things that are impacting us today on the emotional level, the spiritual level, but on the physical level. This is definitely impacting people. So the oils and the sugars, I also link those 2 together. Get those out of your diet, the refined sugars especially, but, avoid sugar and avoid the seed oils, and you may notice that your emotions are really balancing out. Your hormones are balancing out. You don't feel like you're bouncing off the wall like you were before. And you may notice some really spectacular physical changes. I worked with one young mom who had migraine headaches a lot, and she got off all seed oils, and the migraine headaches left, and they haven't come back.
Oh, well, we really are what we eat. And food is the best medicine. I'm a nurse. I've worked in the hospital for 18 years now. And my passion now is keeping people out of the hospital. And real food is the answer to so many of the health issues that we have in our society.
Oh, it is. Who knows what percentage it would be, but it's way up there at the top. Huge, huge percentage of illness that comes about in the US is because of what we eat. We are killing ourselves. I always say breakfast, lunch, and dinner is killing us. And our snacks. And when we change our diet, as I did, um, I changed my diet way back in my 20s. My whole life changed. So I can just quickly tell you I had chronic fatigue syndrome and fibromyalgia. I had a lot of female problems, PMS, on and on it went. I was miserable. Sleep 12 hours a day, get up tired, felt like I had the flu all the time, dragging through the day. I couldn't work. I had to move back home with my father and stepmother and sleep and drag around. And I thought, this is ridiculous. I cannot live like this. My whole life is ahead of me. I had so many goals. I wanted to write books. I wanted to travel. I wanted to be married. I wanted to do all these things. And I'm sicker than an old dog. So I thought there's got to be a way out of this. And I discovered changing my diet and doing a whole program of cleansing and rejuvenation. In 3 months, I was healed and had vibrant health once again. But then I
Wow.
thought, "It's cure." I called it a cure. We think of that in the West. We do this, do this, do this, and then I'm well and I'm cured, and I can go back to what I was doing. No, I couldn't go back to what I was doing. I tried. I moved back to Southern California and my friends, and they were going out for pizza and cheeseburgers and fries and, all that stuff. And I thought, "Okay, I can just join in with them again." Oh, no. My symptoms started coming back, and that scared me. As you know, Erin, and I know now, and many of your listeners may know, once you start tasting good health, boy, you don't ever want to lose it. I had one client say to me, her new motto in life is there is nothing that tastes as good as good health.
Mm, that's so great. I'm going to write that one down. Yeah, it's so true. And to me, it's not just about looking cute in jeans. Like, yeah, a lot of people, we start our these healthy lifestyle changes to look better or feel better but I think it's so important to have a deep reason why to make these changes because it's not always convenient and sometimes it can be challenging to change a lifetime of habits. But if you can have a deep reason that is fueling you, that if your why is deep and strong enough, it will help you to blow past any obstacle. And everything is figure outable if you're struggling with your health or your mental health. There is hope. And I love what you're saying, Sherry, is that this is a small change that we can shift that can create a huge impact on our lives. And if we have health, we have energy, we have time with our families, we can have more capacity to have the impact that we want to have in the world with our short and precious lives. So I'm so loving hearing about this because this is something that we don't talk about a lot in our program. anything on the food list is compliant as long as there's not sugar or flour in it, but it's like good, better, best, right? Um, the better and best options are really what we want to try to shift toward. And giving up sugar and flour or limiting or moderating those more, that can be a big change for people. But optimizing our nutrition with eliminating these seed oils, I think, can also create such a big impact on your health and longevity.
Oh, it can. And you've got the top 2, and I agree with them wholeheartedly, but let's make it the top 3. And
Yeah.
just get rid of those seed oils because it isn't a big deal, really. We buy better oils to cook with at home. We know now
Mm.
which ones they are, and then we just read labels and do our best to avoid the chips, for example, that would have seed oil and instead look for something else, beef tallow or um, olive oil or avocado oil if you're going to do it. And almost everybody says from time to time, I am going to do that. Or whatever you're buying, look for better oils that they're made with. If you're doing a salad dressing, either buy one that's made with olive oil, and there are some brands like Newman's Own has got one with just olive oil and vinegar and the herbs and spices. And there's Bragg's vinaigrette, and then the sesame ginger, and they just use olive oil and vinegar. There are choices out there. There's avocado mayonnaise. Almost everybody is going to buy mayonnaise, but why not choose avocado mayonnaise instead of something else? And on the list goes, we can just start swapping and saying, "Okay, I'm gonna clean out my pantry little by little. When I'm done with this, instead of buying my old brand, I'm gonna get something new that has, a good oil in it or a good fat." And that's how we can make this change happen. And when we eat out, well, I'm gonna avoid the fried chicken, for example, or I'm gonna avoid the fish and chips with all that battered fish just soaked in seed oil, and I'm gonna get something grilled or baked. Easy enough. You still enjoy your dinner. It's still delicious and fun and fabulous, and you're with your family or friends, but it's just making choices every day. That's what I had to do when I realized that I couldn't go back to my old way of life. I said, "Okay, we've gotta make some swaps here." It's just like you do with a little kid, a little two-year-old's got something that's gonna be kinda dangerous, but you just don't wanna grab it, and then the child hurts themselves. So you say, "How about this?" "You can have this. This is, like, more fun or prettier," or whatever, and you can do that with yourself, and I had to do that with myself. You can have this, but not this, and then when you have this, you get a reward. You feel better. You know? You not only look better in your jeans or whatever, but you feel better, and that's what it's all about, and you said that about, purpose and meaning for your life and a reason to propel forward. We want There's something each of us are here to do. I was created for a reason. Erin was created for a reason. You're created for a reason. Well, how are we gonna fulfill that if we're sick and dragging around and we're miserable and we're depressed and we don't feel like doing anything? We're not going to be able to complete our purpose. And so that is hopefully the motivating factor that will spur you on to say, yeah, yeah, I want to complete my purpose. I want to either figure out why I'm here or fulfill why I'm here. And we've got to have good health to do that. We need that energy and that little spark of life to get us up in the morning and not just lie there or not just drag around all day or rely on coffee to just, wire us up and then we can't sleep at night. So there's a lot that we can do, just in little things daily, 1%,
Yep.
2%, like you said.
And I think if someone's listening to this and they're struggling on their health journey, that's a good place to start. Like, why is this important to me? What is my purpose? Where am I now? Where do I want to be? And why is this important? And then in between where you are now, where you want to be, we have to ask ourselves, okay, why is this important to me? Who can help me? And oh, Why is this important to me? Who can help me? And how am I going to do it? And so we are so excited to learn more about this. And so tell us, Sherry, how can we get a hold of your book? Tell us the name of it and where we can learn more about the things that you're teaching.
So, my new book is The Truth About Seed Oils, and it's a little book so you can get through it fast. And it's got 50, over 50 delicious recipes too of incorporating real fats and oils into your diet and how to, put food together and make it taste great. And Amazon's got it. You can go to my website, juiceladyinfo.com, and read more about what I do and connect with me. Also on Instagram at Juice Lady Cherie, Cherie. I've got reels every day going up. Some of them are on seed oils and fats, and others are on juicing and foods and all the things good for you. So come and follow me. Again, juiceladyin.com and at Instagram and Facebook, Juice Lady Cherie, Cherie.
Beautiful. Well, we wish you so much success with your book launch and everything. Thank you for coming on and sharing with us. It's been so much fun.
Oh, thank you. It was a fun show. It was really nice to meet you, Erin.
Thanks for listening today. If you enjoyed this podcast, you're going to love my coaching program. If you're struggling and want to lose weight for the last time, I can help you. Just imagine living in your goal body and having peace with food. Your success is guaranteed. To learn more about how to get support, guidance, and accountability so you can find peace with food, achieve your goal body this year, and have more energy, visit www.healthyrealfood.com. While you're there, click the link to my schedule for a free one-to-one coaching call so we can get you started on your success path. You have the power to create the life that you want. This is the year of you. I'm cheering you on. Now go win the day. You got this.